there friends, it's Ashley here from the Loopy Lamb and theloopylamb.com, and thanks so much for stopping by the channel. It's week 3 of our Crochetasaurus Rex Crochet Along, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make all the different spikes that are on our Crochetasaurus Rex. To follow along with today's tutorial, you'll need the following materials. You're going to need a 3.25mm or D crochet hook. You're going to need your worsted weight yarn, and we're going to be using whatever your accent color is, and for me it's this beautiful golden color, and this yarn is from Keenan Hand Dyed Yarns. You're going to need some stitch markers, a tapestry needle, and a pair of scissors. So let's hop on into crocheting the spikes for our Crochetasaurus Rex. Alright, today we're going to be making these spikes for our dinosaur, and our pattern has 3 different spikes. So we've got the head spikes here, which are the largest of the spikes. We've got these back spikes here, which are slightly smaller than the first set, and then the smallest ones here, which are our tail spikes. So we'll be showing you how to make each type of these spikes for our dinosaur. And to start our spikes, we're going to be using the color C, which for me is this yellow color here. And we're going to start by making our head spikes. So we're going to start by making a magic circle. And I'm going to do this not overly slowly, only because we've done this a few times in the crochet along already. If you need it to be done slower, you can either slow down the speed settings here on the YouTube app or website, or you can check out the tutorial we have here on the channel showing you how to do this in a much slower pace. So we're going to lay the yarn across our palm, pin it down, wrap our fingers, cross it over, flip our hand, and then pin the working yarn between your ring finger and your pinky. Grab your crochet hook and insert it under the first strand, over the second, and pull that strand out. Give it a twist, and then yarn over with the working yarn and pull that through the loop on your hook. Then you can remove your fingers and remove the yarn tail, and you're ready to start crocheting. So to start our head spikes in round 1, we're going to work 6 single crochets into the magic ring. When we work into the magic circle, we take our yarn tail and we hold it alongside the strand that is our ring, because we're going to be working over the yarn strand. So we're going to insert our hook into the ring, yarn over, and pull up a loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both loops. That's your first single crochet completed. So back into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. That's our second single crochet completed. And we need to have a total of 6 single crochets worked into this ring. So we're going to continue to work single crochets until we have 6 of them. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can count those stitches by flipping the work up and viewing those V's and counting each of those V's. Now that we've got the 6 single crochets, you can pull that yarn tail to tighten the magic circle, and you're ready to move on to round 2. And this is what your piece should look like so far. So moving into round 2, we're going to work a single crochet increase into this first stitch. And as a reminder, a single crochet increase is when we work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So inserting our hook under both loops of that first stitch, that might be a little tight, but that's okay. And then we're going to single crochet once into that first stitch, grab your stitch marker and place it into the top of that stitch you just created. And then work back into the same stitch and work a second single crochet into that same stitch. And now we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of these next 2 stitches. So into the next stitch, 1 single crochet, into the next stitch, 1 single crochet. And then we're going to repeat that again. We're going to work a single crochet increase into this next stitch. So again, 2 stitches worked into the same stitch. So there's 1, back into the same stitch. Here's 2. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of these remaining stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 8 single crochet stitches. All right, so moving into round 3, we're going to work 1 single crochet into this first stitch here. And then we'll move up our stitch marker. And then we're going to work a single crochet increase into the next stitch. And now that's a pattern that we need to repeat a total of 4 times. And so once again, the pattern is 1 single crochet into the first stitch and a single crochet increase into the next. So we'll do that again together. 1 single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet increase into the next. And again, that's 2 stitches worked into the same stitch. So that's our second repeat. We'll do this again. 1 single crochet, followed by a single crochet increase into the next. 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and a single crochet increase into the next. At the end of this round, you should have 12 single crochet stitches. At this point, I recommend making sure that the right side of your fabric is facing you. And then we're ready to move on to round 4. For round 4, we're going to start with a single crochet increase into this first stitch. There's 1. Move up our marker, back into the same stitch, and do our second single crochet. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 3, and there's 5. And now we're going to do that repeat again. We're going to work a single crochet increase into this next stitch here. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the remaining 5 stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 14 single crochet stitches. Now, before you go any further, I would recommend taking some time to weave your end in here from your magic circle. Alternatively, you can tie some knots really close to the end here where your magic circle starts, so that way you don't have to weave it in after. All right. And then we're ready to move into round 5. For round 5, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. Don't forget to move up your stitch marker, and you should still have 14 single crochet stitches at the end of this round. So if you'd like to pause your video and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, I'll meet you back here in just a moment to show you how we're moving into round 6. All right, so we're moving into round 6. I've already moved my stitch marker out of the way, and we're going to start round 6 by working a single crochet increase into that first stitch. So I've done my first stitch, placing my stitch marker, and then back into that same stitch to work my second part of my increase. And then I'm going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. There's 1. And there's 6. And now we're going to do that repeat again. We're going to start by working a single crochet increase into this first stitch here. And then working 1 single crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 16 stitches in your round. All right, now moving into round 7, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. Don't forget to move up your stitch marker when you do your first stitch. And at the end of the round, you should still have 16 stitches. So if you'd like to pause your video and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, I'll meet you back here in just a moment to show you how we're moving into round 8. All right, so we're moving into round 8. And in this round, we're going to do a little bit of some decreasing here to kind of add some additional shape at the bottom of our spike. So let's move our stitch marker out of the way. And we're going to start by doing a single crochet decrease. And when we're doing amigurumi, we do what's called the invisible decrease. So we're going to look at our stitches and we notice that each stitch has a front loop and a back loop. The front loop is the loop that's closest to you. To do the invisible decrease, we're going to insert our hook up and under the first stitch, kind of twirl it around here to pick up the front loop of the second stitch. And then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. So it's like working a regular single crochet, but under the front loops of 2 stitches instead of 1. So I'm going to move my stitch marker up there, and that's our single crochet decrease completed. And now we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. There's 3. And there's 6. And now we're going to do that repeat again. We're going to start by doing our single crochet decrease. So we're going to insert our hook up and under the front loop of that first stitch there. Then the front loop of the second stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through both loops. And now we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the remaining 6 stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 14 stitches. So what we're going to do is we're going to flatten our piece. Let me just tuck this yarn tail in so it's not in the way so you can see. So what we'll do is we'll flatten our piece here, and this is what your spike should look like. And then we're going to cut a yarn tail that's long enough for us to sew our spike on. So probably at least 6 inches. You could always go longer if you're unsure. Cut our yarn. And then I'm going to pull the yarn all the way through that last stitch. And then we're going to leave that yarn tail intact for assembly. So that is our head spike. And you're going to need to make 3 of these. So rewind the video and make 2 more and set them all aside for assembly. And then when you're done, meet me back here and we're going to be starting our back spikes next. All right, so we're doing our back spikes for our dinosaur toy. And we're again starting with color C, which is this yellow color. And we're going to start with the magic circle. So I'm going to quickly do this here. Again, if you need to see it slower, watch the tutorial or slow down the speed of your YouTube player. Now that we have our magic circle completed, we're going to work 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So again, we're going to work over the yarn tail as well as the ring. Insert your hook into that ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. That's your first single crochet completed. And then we're going to work 5 more single crochets into the ring. So you should have 6 single crochets. And again, you can turn those up and count your V's to make sure you have enough stitches. Then pull the yarn tail on your magic ring and pull that magic ring closed. Then you're ready to move on to round 2. For round 2, we're going to work a single crochet increase into this first stitch. So again, that could be a little tight and that's okay. Insert our hook in under both loops of that first stitch. And then single crochet once. Place your stitch marker into the top of the stitch you just created. Then back into the same stitch to work your second single crochet to do your single crochet increase. Then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to repeat that pattern again. We're going to work a single crochet increase into this next stitch. And then 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Then we're ready to move into round 3. At the end of round 2, you should have 8 single crochets. I'm going to move my stitch marker, and moving into round 3, we have a repeat. We're going to do a total of 4 times, and that repeat is 1 single crochet into the first stitch, followed by a single crochet increase into the next. So let's do that together now. 1 single crochet into the first stitch, move up your stitch marker, and then a single crochet increase into the next stitch. So that's our first repeat, and now we're going to do that again. 1 single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet increase into this next. All right, again, 1 single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet increase into the next. And one last time, 1 single crochet into this first stitch and a single crochet increase into the next. And now at the end of round 3, you should have 12 stitches, and we're moving into round 4. To start round 4, we're going to start with a single crochet increase into this first stitch. So work your first stitch, move up your marker, and then go back into that same stitch to complete your second single crochet. And now we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're going to do that pattern again. We're going to work a single crochet increase into this next stitch here. And then 1 single crochet into each of the remaining 5 stitches. At the end of round 4, you should have 14 stitches. So again, at this point, you can take some time to either weave in your ends or tie a knot close to the surface here where your magic circle is. And at this point, I like to have the right side of the fabric facing me. So we're moving into round 5. For round 5, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. Let's do our first stitch, and don't forget to move up your stitch marker. And then we're just going to continue to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, and we will still have 14 stitches at the end of this round. So if you'd like to pause your video and work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, I'll meet you back here in just a moment to show you how we're moving into round 6. All right, so we're moving into round 6, and we're going to move that stitch marker out of the way. And we're going to start round 6 by working a single crochet increase into this first stitch here. So working my first stitch of the increase, then placing my stitch marker into the top of that stitch, then back into the same stitch to do my second part of the increase. And then I'm going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. So there's 1, 3, and there's 6. And now we're going to do that again. We're going to work a single crochet increase into this next stitch here. And then 1 single crochet into each of the remaining 6 stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 16 stitches. So what we're going to do is we're going to flatten our piece, and then we're going to cut a yarn tail. Again, I like to leave at least 6 to 8 inches here, so let's cut that yarn. And then pull the yarn tail all the way through your very last stitch. And let's tuck that yarn tail in here. And this is what your back spike should look like. And you'll need to make 2 of these. So rewind the video and make a second back spike and meet me back here when you're done with those, because we'll be starting our tail spikes after this. And when you're done both back spikes, don't forget to set them aside for when we assemble our dinosaur. So I'll meet you back here in just a moment to start our tail spikes for our amigurumi dinosaur. All right, so we're done our head and back spikes, and now we're moving on to the tail spikes for our dinosaur. And these are the smallest spikes that we'll be making for our toy. So again, we're starting with color C, which is our yellow color, and we're starting with a magic circle. So again, we've done this already a couple times, so let's just do this quickly here. Just wrapping it around our fingers, bringing it around. And now that we have our magic circle completed, we're ready to do round 1 of our tail spikes. So we're going to start by working 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Again, we want to make sure we're working over that yarn tail as well as our ring when we're doing these stitches. So into the ring, single crochet, into the ring, single crochet. And we're going to continue to do that until we have 6 single crochets. All right, so I've got my 6 single crochets, and we're going to pull on that yarn tail to close our ring. And we're ready to move on to round 2. For round 2, we're going to start by working a single crochet increase into that first stitch. So under both loops of that first stitch. Again, that might be a little tight, that first stitch, that's okay. Work the first part of my increase, and then place my stitch marker in the top of that stitch. Then back into the same stitch to work my second single crochet to finish my increase. Then I'm going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So here's 1, and here's 2. And then we're going to do that, repeat again. We're going to work a single crochet increase into this first stitch. And then 1 single crochet into each of the remaining 2 stitches. At the end of this round, you should have 8 single crochet stitches. Now we're moving into round 3. And we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch. And moving up our marker. And then a single crochet increase into the next stitch. And we're going to do that again. 1 single crochet in this first stitch, single crochet increase into the next. And I'm just going to take a moment to put the right side out here. And we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet increase into the next. One single crochet into the first stitch, single crochet increase into the next. At the end of round 3, you should have 12 single crochet stitches. So now we're moving into round 4 of our tail spike, and we're going to move that stitch marker out of the way, and we're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. Do your first stitch, then move up your marker, and then work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. At the end of this round, you should still have those 12 single crochets. So if you'd like to pause your video and work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, meet you back here in just a moment to show you what we're doing next. All right, so I just finished the last stitch of round 4, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hook out and cut a yarn tail of at least 6 to 8 inches here for sewing. And then I'm going to pull that yarn tail all the way through the last stitch. Then we're going to flatten the piece and set it aside for assembly. Let me just get this yarn tail out of the way so you can see the piece flattened. So we're flattening the piece and then we're setting it aside for assembly. You're going to need to make 3 of these. So you'll need to rewind the video and watch it again to make 2 more. But this is what our tail spikes should look like. So total, you should have 3, 6, 7, 8 spikes, 3 head spikes, 2 back spikes, and 3 tail spikes at the end. And then we'll see you in the next video where we will assemble our dinosaur and add our tail spikes, or all of our spikes, to our dinosaur. So thanks so much for watching, friends. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And I would appreciate it if you please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you like free crochet patterns, please check out my blog, theloopylamb.com, where I've got lots of free crochet patterns, which have step-by-step video tutorials just like this one. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Happy hooking, and I'll see you next time.